Hello and welcome to another Tinto Maps, Tinto Talk Map Talk Map Talk. And as you can see, we are looking at Central America, and I think it's fair to say this is looking a lot more healthy than what we saw in the North America map, because this isn't the Societies of Pops, this is the political map mode. So much better. Much better. Before we get onto that, though, a couple of things from the rest of the forum that I wanted to get through, just quickly. Firstly, flags. Someone asking about dynamic flags. They have a dynamic flag system that covers cases like the Scottish Union flag, not the Union Jack, that's only for a ship, or Revolutionary Republics. Hopefully these aren't absolutely rancid like in EU4. But it's less clear when a flag should change to another one, as we don't have quite so defined ideologies as Vicky or Hoy. They try to make the most of them as accurate for the 1300s, but at what point, for example, is it appropriate to swap from the Three Lions to St. George's Cross, or from Tre Kronor to the modern Swedish Nordic Cross? If you have any suggestions about when these things would be a good idea to do, then please do let them know. I'd say, I think Three Lions to St. George's Cross, that's something that probably would get changed in a mission tree environment, but it doesn't really look like we're getting unique country mission trees, at least on game release, so maybe not then. It could also just be a decision, who knows? Secondly, we have a couple of things for Russia. Quick update about something they've been working on. They used Veliki Novgorod as the name of the country. So this is the Sovereign Lord Republic of Veliki Novgorod. I'm probably pronouncing that badly. I don't care. And they've changed it because it allows for a clearer distinction with the two other Novgorods, Nizhny Novgorod and Novgorod Seversky. And the current naming system for countries doesn't support having both a suffix and a prefix, as is not very common, so this was the easiest workaround. So this is the new name of Novgorod. And then another thing as well, when we had the Tinto maps last Friday for Russia, not Russia, it was the Monday Tinto map update for Russia. We didn't see all of these countries with their individual colors. We only saw them when they were colored in the same as their overlord. So these are the individual colors of all of the various Russian principalities. Now, finally, before we get on to the Central American Tinto maps, just want to say, if you want to keep my lights on and you want to help me out while I'm doing these Tinto Talks videos, then maybe hit the subscribe button. Helps me out quite significantly. You stay updated, I get a sub. It's a win-win. And with that out of the way, let's have a talk about Central America. Welcome to Tinto Maps, the happy Fridays for map lovers. Today we'll be looking at Central America, which includes the Caribbean. Before we start, we are getting introduced to Raul Trulenque. They have two messages on the forum, so yes, it will be an introduction for sure. The only member of our content design team who had not gone public, and who worked really hard on the maps and content for Central America and South American regions. So if there's anything wrong, you know who to blame. Right, countries. It is just Central America that we're looking at that has countries. There is also a couple of hints as what we're getting in South America. I don't know what those would be, but this is looking so much more healthy than North America for sure. Nothing in the Caribbean either. So yeah, let's see what we have going on here. We got some more detailed maps, but let's read first. Welcome to the Mesoamerican Thunderdome. The area is characterized by its numerous altepetl, more or less comparable to city-states. Most of them are ruled in 1337 by peoples of Nahua origin, something that you may see much more clearly in the culture map. The biggest power in the moment is the Empire of Purhepecherio, nailed it, though founded by the Purhepecha people. In any case, you may notice that there's a lot of detail in this area, including a tiny Nahua settlement recently founded on an island over Lake Texcoco, Tenochtitlan, the Aztecs. This is the first time in a Paradox Grand Strategy game that we have the island itself present on the map. That is very cool. Although the location covers some more land over the lake coast to make it playable. Finally, we also have the Mayan polities of the post-classic period, of which Kokom, with its capital Mayapan, was the most important, along with others such as Quiche and its capital Qamarkaj. Alright, let's have a look at the more detailed maps. So, here we have the island very clearly, well, not very clearly, it's still, you need to zoom in very heavily to see it. And Tenochtitlan, its name doesn't fit on it, so it's just there. But very cool. I'm guessing that's going to be a favorite for people to play. Yeah, the island itself is, you know, an individual location. Although, yeah, it's kind of too small to be a single location, so that's why they've got the land and a bit of wasteland there as well, of course, to make it playable for sure. Getting some more. I quite like the paper map is really looking quite nice now. You can definitely see they've put some more effort into making it like. I mean, we've seen these little drawings of mountains and hills and trees and such, but I don't know. It feels like it is looking a bit more. Maybe it's just because there is more terrain in this area and plains and flatland don't really get shown. But, like, look at the mountains up here. I think this looks great. I do really think this drawn style does look great. I like the paper map. Of course, I will still be playing with the terrain map when we eventually get shown it. But I am not unhappy with what we're seeing here. This looks good. Getting more stuff here. I think, obviously, the Aztecs are going to be or Tenochtitlan is going to be the most desirable to play tag in this area, because obviously forming the Aztecs, I think, is going to be a thing. People like forming tags that they recognize from history, so I think that's going to probably be a fan favorite. But I'm curious, what other tags in this area have caught your eye? Which ones do you wish to play? I would be very interested to know what others. Itza, I think that might be, like, is that where Chichen Itza is? That might be a favorite as well. But very cool. Societies of Pops, just because there are a bunch of tags doesn't mean that there are no Societies of Pops. We have some, especially in the south here. The Lenka, the Ketchi, the Mopan people. And we can have a look at more detailed ones. Of course, there are a bunch in the north as well that we did not see in the North American map. Very cool. And it'd be interesting to know how they interact, really. Like, that's the big thing. How do these guys interact with stated societies that we're going to be able to play? That's really going to be the big thing. How do we interact with these people? But yeah, some more here. On the outskirts of the Mesoamerican polities, there are plenty of peoples organized in different ways. To the north, we have the ones that populate the area known as Aridoamerica, which were collectively termed by the Nahua as Chichimerica. We have also plenty of societies close to the Mayan lands and the Isthmus. Finally, the Taino people populate some of the biggest islands in the Caribbean. Actually, did we see the Caribbean? There, yes we did. Taino is there as well. Very cool. I didn't swap that the first time. As for locations, we can just have a quick gander. We've seen, I guess, most of the political map mode is split into different locations, so I don't think we're going to get too much in the way of new information here, but we'll have a gander through them. Highlighted Tenochtitlan, of course, because why not? Density here is a little bit all over the place. So obviously we've got these tiny provinces, locations, sorry, here, and then Koinan is large. And then you're going straight back to, like, small ones with Zula. And then over here, Napanaka is really large. And then it's getting much more detailed here. I wonder if that is following the rules they set for themselves. Isn't it like no location can be more than 50% larger than one that it borders? I feel like that kind of violates that rule. But anyway. Other than that, I mean, it does look good. If you're colonizing the mine area, a fort here, and then you have blocked off this entire is it a peninsula up here? Is that what this would be called? Either way, then you've got all this well defended. Panama itself is 2 locations. You can't just have the one location to cut across, which is an interesting choice. The Panama Canal, I don't think will be constructible in the game, and I don't think it should be either. Because it was constructed after the end of the game, and also it requires technology that is just not available during this time period. Whereas with the Suez Canal, it could technically be built with technology of the time. In the time, this required just more. It was a much more advanced project. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was not constructible in the game. Maybe we have already been told about that. I don't know. The provinces map, though, you can see the huge difference when you go from North America into Central America. There's so much more dense provinces-wise. Zooming in a bit more, you can see them a bit more clearly. And then the areas map mode as well. This is looking a lot better. I quite like, the different areas of the sea is very clear. The distinction between them is very, very clear. Though I still would like the option to just have this as looking like water in the game. They did make some strides into making it a lot more clear what's water and what is land. After I complained about it before, so that at least it does look more distinct. But I still would like the option to just make it look like water. But yeah, that is looking pretty nice. Plenty of locations here. Just want to note that the Darien Gap is an impassable wasteland, which means that any army trying to cross from modern Panama and Colombia will need transport ships to be able to do it. Interesting. Okay, the Darien Gap is, if we have here, this wasteland right here, which is just right next to my face. So yeah, you can't walk from north to south. And it's very difficult to walk from north to south in modern day because of the thick-ass jungle that is right here, and also quite a lot of gangs and crime and such, so you're probably going to die. But yeah, Darien Gap being impassable is certainly a choice. Certainly a choice. I'm all for it, though. I think that is a good idea. Then you go back to the provinces. There's the areas. And now onto terrain. We have tropical, bit of continental here. Oceanic. There's a bit of arid and cold arid. But mostly we're looking at tropical and continental. And then a little further north, we got more arid in the north. Then we have here the topography. Lots of mountains, lots of hills, lots of plateau, flatland there. Wetlands makes sense. Very nice. And then we have more vegetation, jungles and forests and jungles. Little bit of grassland in the center part. But yeah, lots and lots of jungles and forests makes sense. Very diverse region. Most of it's covered by tropical jungles and forests, but Sierra Madre Occidental and Oriental make for very specific conditions in the Mexican Altiplano, which are not only visible in the topography map, but also in the climate and vegetation of the area. As for development, it is relatively low dev by, I guess, European standards. But the most developed regions in Mesoamerica are the valley of Mexico and the Mayan coastline up there in Cocom and then by Tenochtitlan. Natural harbors now. And, Cuba is looking absolutely glorious, as is, I forget the name of the island. I apologize. This one is Jamaica, though, and Abacoa up there in the Turks and Caicos Islands, looking really, really nice. This is going to be a hugely important area to control for the naval harbors. I like that quite a lot. And then moving further south, we've got some more good harbors on the coastline, and especially here just above my face. But I guess we're going to be seeing that in the South America map next week. There are some good ports in the Caribbean. No surprise that most of them would later become important cities in the colonial period. Culture map-wise now, Nahua is pretty dominant here. We've got the Maya there as well, pretty dominant in that area. But yeah, Nahua in multiple different places is probably going to be... That's what Tenochtitlan is, of course, as well. So it's going to be useful for you to conquer those regions. Here is another map of cultures a little bit further south. Tons of cultures indeed. As for language, we have a split between Nahua and Maya. Maya also up here as well. Got a few more. Purupecha and the Manguacan. And I have no idea how to say that one because it is a little bit too dark. But yeah, some more languages there. And then on the Caribbean, we got Ta Arawakan. Very cool. Loving that, of course. Actually, we'll be able to see what it is here. Toto Zoquien. Nice. Also, languages. The first two are the dominant languages per location, while the third is the court languages one. The dark blue is Toto Zoquien. Not so easily readable, something they have to change, of course. Religions now. We have Nahua, we have Mayan, Tonalist, Wan Isa, some more various ones down in the south. Zemi on the islands of the Caribbean. The map is today a more advanced state, as we have merged plenty of cultural religions into regional groupings. Of these, Tonalism, Nahua, and Mayan are part of the Tonalist religious groups, while the others are part of the Folk American group, a regional split of the former Animist group. Nahua and Mayan have their own different mechanics, and they'll talk about that in a future Tinto talks. Let us know what you think of this design. Any suggestions about the religious groupings? On to raw materials now. I'm expecting a bit of gold, and I do see a bit of gold here and there, and lots of cocoa as well, which I think this might be the first time we've spotted cocoa. Maybe it isn't. I see a lot of gems as well spotted around the place. I see silver, maize as well. And I think we should be seeing here some potatoes. I believe I remember hearing that potatoes were going to be a thing. Do we see any potatoes? Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. I can't see any. If you can spot any potatoes, let me know. Unless they are going to be a different trade good. Maybe they're called something different in the game, and I'm just mixing it up with something else. Because I don't think it's going to be maize. I just don't. I don't think it's going to be a fiber crop. But yeah, I don't know what it's going to be, but we found some medicaments, so we're happy. Some more zoomed in stuff here. Mercury as well, some clay. But yeah, I'm seeing it's pretty good for trade goods regardless. Like this cocoa is going to be quite useful, and I didn't mean to click that button. That's unfortunate. Let me just go back to where we were. That was unfortunate. There we go. But yeah, I can see quite a lot of gold. It's going to be very important for you to own this if you wish to have the gold. Maize is king in Mesoamerica, although there are plenty of other resources, including juicy gold and silver. Obsidian is not a separate resource, as it's too regional specific, so it's included under the gem coverage, and we have ways to represent it in-game. For instance, there's a production method to produce weaponry using gems as an input. That's really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. That's cool. Very nice. As for markets, we have a few here. We have the No Patan, they have the Cuscatan, they have the Azcapotzalco. I don't know what this is going to be. That's something from the North America. And then this one is also from North America. Sure. And then I guess I don't know where that one's coming from, but the names are not on the map. Unless the name is like hidden in the black. I don't know. Because that is the main port. A couple of bugs were reported. Yeah, you don't say. As you can see, the Azcapotzalco, Mayapan, and the No Patan, the capital of the Itza people, are the most important ones. As for population, we have the population maps back. Fantastic. Let's see if we can zoom in on Tenochtitlan, and we'll be able to see exactly how many pops it has. 73,639 is what I'm seeing. So yeah, you're more you've got more population than your immediate southern neighbor, but less than your immediate northern neighbor. So, good luck. It might be a challenging game. And some more populations here, and then getting very, very sparse when they go outside of the areas that have countries in them. But yeah, looking good there. The Caribbean as well, very, very low populations. Makes sense. It makes it a little bit easier to colonize. And they will be very hotly sought after areas. Very nice. They've solved a couple of the issues with the pop editor, and this week the map is in a pretty decent state to be shown. Total numbers for the region are roughly 8.6 million pops, distributed in 523,000 in Arido America, 6.9 million in Mesoamerica, including northwestern the Mayan lands, 1 million in Central America, including southeastern Mayan lands, and then 151,000 in the Caribbean islands. Beautiful. Next week, they'll be looking at the Levant feedback on the 16th and then South America on the 20th. We will be there. So, that is... I think that's going to be a pretty interesting region. I think majority of my time interacting with this area will be as a colonizer. It just will be. I am... In EU4, I think I've played the Aztecs. And I think I played for a challenge run someone in North America. But in 9,500 hours, this is not a region I spend any great amount of time in as anything other than a colonizing, conquering asshole, basically. But I think I'm definitely interested to give Tenochtitlan a try. And we'll see what comes of that. And also, I would like to know what other tags that maybe I am overlooking. What tags do you think should have a little bit more attention that I should be looking at? I'd be interested to know your thoughts on that. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below. Like the video if you have liked this video, and I will see you on Monday for some more feedback of the Levant. Looking forward to that for sure. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I will see you then. Bye-bye.